welcome mourners. You are listening to the Dirge of Mourning's last Coffin Carrier. I am your host, Andrew A. Graves, alongside Terabella Thorne. In this episode, we'll be looking at a Finnish band called Skepticism, with their song, The Swan and the Raven, from their album, Companion, released in 2021. Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck me, yes. Yes, fuck.
Okay.
I just had an orgasm.
I know you did over there. Here's the thing. It's a very rapturous song. Let's get you alive and talking again. Come on.
Okay, so first things first. I am now retiring that segment. You can all breathe a sigh of relief.
Well, I guess you may want to say that this is the last of this segment of reviews, but...
Oh, I'm also retiring that gag.
But there's going to be more stuff coming. We're not.
Yes,
we're not ending doing stuff. Yeah, we're not.
No. This segment of Coffin Carrier will slowly transition into a thing called Burial Grounds.
Okay.
So keep your eyes peeled for those to be coming in the future. I have done a few bits and pieces here and there for it, just to get an idea of how to do them.
And I would like to say I'm sorry I missed a couple. I wasn't feeling well, that's why. And I sounded like crap, so I couldn't really speak. But I'm okay.
As she slowly dies in the corner.
Yeah.
No, I dragged her out of the proverbial grave to do this one last go around with this fucking awesome song.
No, I really like this song for more than one reason, and for it strikes me as being a lot different from other songs that we have heard. Can I go ahead and say what I like, and then you can talk?
Go ahead. I'm still having to rearrange my underwear here because that just knocked me out of every piece of clothing. That was that awesome.
Okay, it is awesome. It's an awesome song. So, the things that I like about it, the tempo, it is very slow. Then the tempo speeds up, and and then as it gets into the song, it slows down again. So it captures you with that pulsating beat and then the tempo. So
my heart thumps every time I hear that intro.
Yeah, it's a pulsating, ominous pulsating beat. It's dark and scary sounding. It draws you in. It's like, what am I in for? It makes me. This song actually makes me anxious.
Yeah.
So I'm like on edge when I'm listening and reading the lyrics, as we always do. We listen and read at the same time.
Yeah.
So loved the melody, loved that pulsating beat throughout, and it dies down. You can't hear it as well throughout the song, then it comes back at the end. And that's what I liked about the musical aspect. I don't know if you want to talk about that first before we get into lyrics. Yeah, go ahead. You say what you think.
So, upon hearing that intro, that pulsating intro with the, I'm going to assume a cello was used.
I don't know. It might just be some keyboard electronic synthesizer thing.
It could be. But whatever instrument it was specifically that they used was just perfect for this intro. It leads you in to the atmosphere that you're about to experience. When the song finally does kick in with the heavy guitars and bass and drumming, you are instantly transported to that classic skepticism sound.
It is skeptical, but I knew what you meant. Skepticism. Yeah, the band.
Yes. So when the music does die down again and we hear that pulsating sound again, this slight guitar change as it just sort of like randomly picks its strings to build even more tension as the drum beat kicks back in to build up to yet another epic sort of climax for the second verse.
The words you're using describing the music are describing what's going on. You have tension throughout this thing, and this sort of build up. So there's something going on, and you know it. You just know it. You don't even have to read the lyrics to know there's something going on.
This is true. This is very, very true.
When we read the lyrics,
that's why when the does sort of come to an end, we get that that either violin-y type sound or feeling again. But it's the way it dies out. It dies out exactly the way you want it to. It doesn't leave you hanging on just the sort of sound of it. It vibrates for a while and then it has an end. It's done beautifully. But what would Funeral Doom be without its lyrical content? Nothing. Let's be honest. So, the main theme of these lyrics is night and day, black, white, life, death.
Right.
We have a winter feel.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout the song, there's a sense of cold, dark, but you also get that sense of summertime, light, warm, as it describes the Swan and the Raven as being polar opposites.
Right.
So, my question for you is, who represents what?
That is the big question, because my favorite lines, in the brightest light lies the dark, in the deepest dark grows the light. So, you often think of a swan as being white,
yes,
and yet in here they talk about a black swan, and I don't think they're talking about color. I think they're talking about the feeling. I think what is going on in this song, and in the video, if you watch the video, it's a great video.
The video was awesome.
I believe what we have here is a whole lot of symbolism.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not, we're not talking about looking at a swan and looking at a raven in the sky.
No,
although that could be going on. But it's the symbolism of portions of, I believe, death. So
yes,
that's wherein lies the funeral doom. Because
exactly.
Yeah, it takes you a while. I've heard the song a few times now, but it takes you a while to really let it just sort of wash over you, and for you to get at the full meaning. So I really like that, because I like that kind of symbolism. I like that kind of double entendre and all that stuff. So anyway.
Well, of course, let's not forget the fact that even in nature, you do get the concept of an actual black swan and a white raven.
There are.
So, taking those things that actually exist and using them as metaphors to describe, like, pros and cons of one's own existence, and one's death in this poetic manner has a very profound message to it, which is, again, the two lines that you spoke of, which again are my favourite lines as well. In the brightest light lies the dark. In other words, you have this sense of you may be surrounded by all of this life, this happiness, but the minute you close your eyes, darkness.
Well, you know how they say you can feel alone in a crowd.
Exactly. That's kind of where I think they're going with this. Yeah. Because that whole paragraph is the best way I could sum it up is literally in the way that they did. Different in form from voice. They're talking about something that you do not expect. A sudden tragedy. Life is going great for you, then all of a sudden, here is misery knocking at the door. The last line of the song, in the depths of darkness grows the light. Just because you're having your darkest hour doesn't mean you can't turn it around. There is hope here.
Yeah. Yep.
But there is also despair, and they are racing.
And they're side by side, and I think that's the thing we have to kind of expect in life / death, is that, you know, yeah, just like you said, you can be going along just and all of a sudden, boom, something throws you down. Or opposite way, something terrible is going on, and yet you pull out of it. So there's
because
that.
Again, look at what the words are saying. The swan departs, wings at dusk, form in the descent.
In the distance.
Distance, even. I should wear glasses.
You should have your glasses on, silly.
Later. Anywho, my overall point is, here's something that shouldn't be moving at this moment in time. Why is it doing something where out of the norm for a swan to do, in terms of like how we imagine swans being?
Swans don't really like fly a lot,
right? But that's what I'm saying. The wings at dusk.
Yeah.
Why is it?
Yeah, they usually are asleep. They're usually
what would be the purpose?
Yeah, they usually asleep. Right.
So, because it's the metaphor of this black swan in death, it is sweeping throughout the dusk, i.e. the time of day. So this is when death comes. In terms of, if you look at classic stories, there's always a tragedy at nightfall or dusk or dawn. These things usually happen around about then. Nothing during the day ever happens. It's all sunshine. It's when that light goes away, which is the next part. The raven stays one day or another. In other words, it is the daytime. It is a white raven, representing life. It sweeps throughout the day or another. In other words, you can have a cloudy day, but you will always get the sunshine again. That's why I think this metaphor is this idea of you take the good with the bad and the bad with the good in terms of life's tragedies.
Yeah.
At least that's what it gives me anyway.
I think the sort of, I think about the same thing. I just put it in a different sort of words.
Yeah.
But
so would you say that we're on an agreement with that then?
Yeah, pretty much. I would. I mean, I saw just a very, I think it's a very pensive song. I think it's meant to just make you think.
I agree.
You know, about these things. It's not really describing a particular death or anyone's.
No, it's just the idea of it.
Yeah.
This is the idea that, again, you've got, one day you could be thinking heavily about your own mortality, and then the next day you don't really care too much.
Well, I always say this sort of thing, and I know this to be true, especially as I get older, more of my friends and people around me, family, dying, things like that. Yeah. So what I say is, you know, death is a part of life. So it doesn't mean I sit around thinking about death all the time, but it's just a thing. And
I would agree.
You know, it's like, what did my dad always say? death and taxes. Those are the things that you can always count on. The two things you could always count on, death and taxes. But in a more elevated state of mind, you do think about occasionally your mortality. And this is a song I think that is, pointing to that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting from it anyway. I don't think it's that much deeper.
No, I mean, I'd love to talk to whoever wrote it to find out what they actually meant by every single word.
Oh, that would be interesting.
It's beautiful. It's beautifully written. I mean, it's beautiful poem.
It is. So I guess that only leaves us with one other thing then.
Yes, me to take up Death Growl with my scratchly voice.
A new female-led metal band coming soon.
Coming soon.
First intro.
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't worry, guys. I'll make sure that she does it correctly. But on a more serious note, scoring.
Okay.
Let's score this motherfucker, shall we?
I'm giving it this. You see me.
She is pointing at the numbers between 1 to 10, and I'm going to assume she's giving it a 3.
No, never.
She says never, but I'm going to have to completely disregard everything she's about to say and give it a 10.
Me too. This song is 10.
It has to get a fucking 10, right?
Just for fun, check out the video. It's real cute. Well,
yeah,
it's a real cute video. Go have some fun.
As always, I'll link everything in the description. I'll include the video in the description so you guys can check it out.
Great band. Fantastic band. I love
Awesome.
it.
And absolutely deserves the 10 out of 10. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's going to do it from us here at Coffin Carrier. We do bid every mourner a farewell. I hope you've enjoyed this ride with us, as it is our last ride as we head on
of this type.
As we head into the cemetery to remind ourselves once more that every day is a funeral.